What is going on, YouTube? This is Lawrence over at Mighty Comics and Collectibles, and yes, we are back with another video. This time, the top Bronze Age keys heading into 2022. Now, 2021 was an amazing year for all things comics, and I've narrowed it down to 6 books that I think will keep going higher in 2022. But before we get started into this video, guys, I want to let you guys know I will be doing a 2,000 subscriber video once we hit that 2,000 sub mark, guys. And of course, I actually have a good friend of mine who will be donating an amazing key issue for this giveaway. If you guys haven't checked out my last video, my live stream with @EarlMolnar on Instagram, check it out. I will drop the link at the end of this video. But we're going to jump right in here at this list. At number 6 is a copy of Giant Size X-Men number 1, the first appearance of the new X-Men team, and of course the second appearance of Wolverine. Now, many of you guys are going to ask, why is this only at 6 on my list? Is because it really took a monumental jump in 2021. I still think it's going to go higher, guys, but to me, it has already taken a huge step forward. I will say that. Now, this is probably one of my favorites going into 2022, only because we know the X-Men are coming into the MCU at some point. I don't think we're going to see them this year. However, there are rumors out there that we may see Hugh Jackman or, of course, Professor X coming in to the MCU and Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. But of course, you know, they aren't going to be the new X-Men. They're going to be the old X-Men. So I'm not sure how that's going to work itself out. But either way, this book is number 6 on my list, and this is a huge buy going in for this year. At number 5 this year is a copy of Daredevil number 131, the first appearance of Bullseye. Now, this book has been all over the Hot 10 list for the past couple of months. It is one of my favorite Bronze Age keys, a nice yellow book, a nice beautiful first appearance, of course. And of course, now that we know that Matt Murdock is in the MCU, it's not far behind that Bullseye will appear at some point, either in Disney Plus or, of course, in a crossover MCU event. Who knows? We're going to see Daredevil at some point. That's all that matters. And eventually, where Daredevil goes, Bullseye will follow. So this appears at number 5 on my list, and it's still an undervalued key, in my opinion. At number 4 on my list is a copy of Tomb of Dracula, number 10, the first appearance of Blade. Now, we already know Blade is going to show up in his own movie down the line in the MCU. We already heard his voice at the end of The Eternals, so it's only a matter of time. I'm not sure when that movie is slated to come out. I want to probably say it's 2023. Who knows? Either way, I think the actor that they cast for this role is right on point, and I can't wait to see what they do with Blade in the MCU. It's going to usher in probably some of the darker character we've seen in Marvel, such as Ghost Rider, such as, Morbius, that we all know is going to be with Sony. I don't think they'll actually do a crossover with him, but a lot of these darker characters, like the Punisher as well, will be coming into the MCU or Disney Plus sooner rather than later. That's why this book is number 3 on my list. I will say this, it is number 4, excuse me. I will say this book has come a long way ever since that announcement. I remember a couple of years back, I had picked up a Tomb of Dracula 10 for $90 at a local show. Granted, it was a low-grade book. I think I sent it to CGC after a good press, and it came back at 3.0 or a 3.5. But for $90 to get a really big Bronze Age key, that was a tremendous pickup for me back then. Of course, I've since sold that, of course, way too early, like I sell most of my books. But regardless, Blade, I think, has his own unique following, guys, and I do think this book will take off. It's just a matter of when and how good they do the character in the MCU. At number 3 this list is a copy of Amazing Spider-Man number 194, the first appearance of the Black Cat. The Black Cat is one of my favorite Marvel characters. She's a villain. She's Spider-Man's love interest, so she plays a dual role in Marvel. Me being, of course, a huge Spider-Man fan, I am in love with this character. I really love to see, the MCU do their own Black Cat instead of Sony doing it and have, her meet Peter Parker, Tom Holland. I think it would be an amazing, amazing story because we really haven't seen this character in anything since like the 80s cartoon shows, right? So I don't really want to see a Sony, Black Cat movie. I want to see our own Black Cat, Felicia Hardy, in the MCU, meeting Spider-Man, getting his love interest, taking that where the story goes that has been in the comics. She's such an amazing character to me, almost rivals Catwoman in the DC universe. To me, this is a huge undervalued key. I don't know why it's not worth more money. I actually own 3 copies of this book right now. To me, you have to pick up this book. It's almost a given that she's going to appear at some point, whether it's Sony or MCU. I'm just hoping that it is in the MCU because I think it would be an amazing storyline. Definitely pick this book up, guys, if you haven't yet. At the 2 spot is one of my favorite comic books of all time, one of my favorite characters of all time. It is a copy of Amazing Spider-Man number 129, the first appearance of the Punisher and Frank Castle. I have always been drawn to this character ever since I was a kid. His backstory, the way he conducts himself, what he's all about is something I was always drawn to as a kid and as a young adult. To me, this is also one of the most amazing Bronze Age covers you will ever see, between the yellow background, the John Romita and Gil Kane artwork, and everything in between, and it also being, of course, a huge Amazing Spider-Man key. Again, I cannot say enough about this book. I actually have owned probably 7 or 8 copies of this book in my lifetime. I am down to 3 right now. If you haven't checked out my last video with Errol, he is the AF-15 King. You guys should now refer to me as the ASM 129 King. That's what I will be known from now on. All jokes aside, guys, this book is a major key that I still think will keep going higher in the year 2022. I'm just hoping that Jon Bernthal will reprise his role as the Punisher in a future MCU movie. I'm hoping it will be a Spider-Man movie. Maybe we can get a nice crossover with him as Spider-Man. I think that's the way to do it. I'm not sure if that will happen. I probably think he will show up in one of these Disney Plus shows first, and then hopefully we get a cameo in a future MCU film. But I still think this book is highly undervalued. It will keep going higher throughout the end of the year. And at the top spot is a book we actually there are some rumors out there that there has been casting for this character. It is a copy of Marvel Spotlight number 5, the first appearance of Ghost Rider. Now, Ghost Rider is going to play an important role going forward in the future of the MCU. That just happens to be my opinion, guys. Like I said before, with some of these other characters like Blade, I think there will be a darker version of the MCU going forward in some aspects, and Ghost Rider is going to fit right in here. I'm actually hearing as well that we may see a cameo of him in the Doctor Strange 2 Multiverse of Madness. Remains to be seen. There's going to be a lot of stuff packed in this movie, just like we thought in Spider-Man No Way Home. So hopefully we get kind of a glimpse of this character, and we'll see what happens. But either way, the Ghost Rider, anything related to Ghost Rider is going to go up even further in the year 2022. That's my top pick. Now, somebody's going to out there say, why isn't Hulk 181 on this list, Hulk 180 on this list? Because I think that this book has already gone so much in value this past year that I'm not sure we're going to get an increase in value this year. It is an immensely popular book, and actually somebody just went over with me. This is probably like the next grail after Action 1, Tech 27, AF-15. The next one is Hulk 181. My issue is there's so many copies of that book, and so many people love that book. Do everyone out there who wants this book have a copy already? I'm not sure, but I got to think that most do. They're like I said, there's so many copies, so I'm not sure. That's the only reason I kept it off this list. How can it go any higher? It literally, I think, quadrupled in price this year in some grades, so I can't really say. But either way, I think that Marvel Spotlight 5 still has a lot of room to grow, and if we do get any type of news, any type of glimpse for the Ghost Rider upcoming this year, I think that book is going to take off, as well as these other 5 books on my list, guys. So that's it for the top Bronze Age keys that I'll be buying in 2022. I do think these 6 books will keep going as higher and higher as possibly, as they can. That remains to be seen. I've always said that the beginning of 2021, we're going to see a little bit of a dip. So that's probably going to be your buying opportunity, guys. So with that said, I hope you guys enjoyed this list. Stay tuned for the giveaway that'll be announced probably over the next couple of weeks. Hopefully we can get to that 2,000 subscriber contest as soon as we can. But regardless, one other side note I want to mention, guys, is that from now on, I will be dropping new content on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Tuesdays will be a new video, and Thursdays will be the Hot 10 List breakdown. So stay tuned and remember those days for the new videos. So like always, this is Lawrence over at Mighty Comics and Collectibles saying thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you guys soon.